Welcome in, everybody. This is episode 11 of the I-70 Hot Tag. Tonight we sit down with five-time WLW heavyweight champion, a former NWA Central States heavyweight champion, and a former KCXW champion. Joining us tonight is none other than Derek Stone. Plus, we will break down two major events that occurred last weekend. First, the Central States Wrestling Rise of an Outlaw. And last but certainly not least, we'll dive into the two-night event, the St. Louis Anarchy Dingo Invitational. Don't go anywhere.
Stay right there. We got more coming. Stay tuned.
And now, CR Media presents the I-70 Hot Tag with your host, Chaos Chase, and the real Josh Elliott.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Chase, aka CR Media, and this is episode 11 of the I-70 Hot Tag. You guys know the deal. We're talking to Missouri and Kansas independent professional wrestlers, breaking down independent wrestling in the Kansas and Missouri area along the I-70. Tonight, reaching for the tag, we've got none other than Derek Stone. Derek Stone is having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are going to get him in here. We're gonna do everything we can. If I gotta hoof it to his house and interview him with my cell phone, I will do it. So we might be in for a long show tonight, guys, but we've got a fun show for you. Not only are we going to interview Derek, we are also going to talk about CSW Rise of an Outlaw and St. Louis Anarchy's Dingo Invitational. Two phenomenal events that both of the local promotions have put on tonight. Super excited to talk about those, but we will get into it. As you guys know, if you guys are here, you guys automatically know who it is. CR Media. As usual, follow me on all the social medias. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok. Shoot us a follow on all of those. Would greatly appreciate it. Putting out a lot of content, a lot of photos, a lot of videos in the local area about local independent professional wrestling. So super excited for that. Josh, how are you tonight, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited for this episode. We booked him about a month ago to have Derek on the show and been extremely excited ever since. So it's finally here, and we're going to talk to a Kansas City wrestling legend.
Absolutely. Josh, let everybody know where they can find you on social media, my friend.
Absolutely. So you can find me at The Real Josh Elliott. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. But more importantly, as labeled here on the tag, I run all the social medias for the I-70 Hot Tag. So you can find us there at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. So we are actually going live. This is the first week of going live on YouTube. So if you guys are a YouTube fan, go give us a follow, hit that notification bell. We will be going live there every week.
Absolutely. We post lots of clips, post lots of content on all those social medias. You guys will never not see something from CR Media or the I-70 Hot Tag. So let's get into. Oh, before I forget, for those that don't know, we also post the I-70 Hot Tag on all your podcast networks, all your podcast needs. So if you're sitting there and you're like, Chase, I really don't have time to sit in front of a computer for an hour and a half to 2 hours, staring at your beautiful, smooth face, I've got great news. You can listen to my extraordinary voice and Josh's annoying voice while you mow the lawn or while you're driving or whatever the case is. And you can find the I-70 Hot Tag on Anchor, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, and Spotify. So,
Absolutely. And
so
I will agree with you, annoying ass voice. I cannot stand to hear myself talk. So,
God, that makes two of us, asshole.
So,
let's work in reverse tonight. Why not?
let's do it.
While we're waiting on Derek Stone to figure out his technical difficulties, we already went down the social medias. We will go over the social medias again at the end. Until the whole world follows CR Media and the I-70 hot tag, I will continue to plug the social medias. But let's preview a future podcast show. Josh, it looks like June 30th. We have a very special guest coming on the I-70 hot tag.
Yeah.
Who is that special guest?
It is if you guys remember, it is a actual reschedule. Had this guy scheduled, I think a week or two ago. Not exactly sure. Had a little difficulty in lining things up, but he is ironed out a date for us, June 30th next week. A man that has become very beloved in the Kansas City area. We're gonna sit down with the best pizza chef, Luigi Primo, next week. Extremely excited for that one.
Absolutely.
He's a very fun gimmick, and extremely into that character. And fans eat it up every time, and as do I. So super excited to talk to Luigi.
Absolutely. He is the best pizza maker.
Absolutely.
So, and then as far as so that's our show for June 30th. Here, let's do this.
Yeah.
Josh, you want to introduce and see what we got going on here? Introduce Mr. Stone.
Yeah. So we got Derek Stone, WLW veteran Derek Stone. We'll go ahead and bring him in. Can you bring him in?
There we go.
Hey, holy cow. Listen, this is a learning experience for you guys. When you do technical things with octogenarians like myself, you're going to have some problems. So we probably should have started the interview at about 6:30 my time, 7:30. So I think we got it now.
We're good.
I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what was going on. I could hear you guys, but you couldn't hear me, and it was a mess. So.
No worries, Derek. Like I said, we actually had the issue with Ryan the Infinite.
Okay.
And that was what would happen with Ryan. Ryan was on his phone, and he had to use a pair of headphones because there's
nice.
It's something with the browser on your phone won't allow permission to the microphone unless a headset's plugged in or I don't know. It's technology. It's only awesome when it works, right?
I was just about ready to get a piece of paper and just write out answers for you and hold it up to the camera. So
that would have made my night. So
how are you guys? Thanks for having me on, by the way. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Derek. The pleasure is all ours. We are super, super excited to have you on. Want to just chit chat with you about your experiences in the business.
Perfect.
And then chat with you about what you got going on and your current ventures in WLW. So,
awesome, man. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Absolutely. So to start it off, Derek, I would just ask, who is Derek Stone?
That depends on what day of the week we're talking about, I guess. I don't know. I'm a guy who's really passionate, and I'm a guy I'd say that's very lucky. I've made a lot of my own luck, but I'd say the things that I'm kind of like that Edie Brickell song, I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. Like, that's me pretty much. I only talk about things that I know about, and the rest I make up.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've always been told, fake it until you make it.
That's it. Yeah, there you go.
What can you tell us about how you got into professional wrestling, Derek?
It's just something I literally always wanted to do. I grew up. I'm in Denver right now. I'm actually got a couple shows out here before I head back into Missouri. We're big AWA fans out here. And the AWA was real big out here. So ever since I can remember, I was watching. My first favorite wrestlers were like Sergeant Slaughter, Jerry Blackwell, the Gagnes, Jim Brunzell, all of that stuff, So it's just one of those things that I always wanted to do. And luckily when I started, I mean, it's kind of a difficult business to get into. Now it's like everybody wants you to get into the business. Back then, and I'm talking early 90s, people didn't, they wanted you to quit, or not be a part of the club. You had to really prove yourself. So I got into it just as I was a football player and athlete all through school. And my plan was that I was going to play in the NFL. And then when I was done in the NFL, I was going to, give it a shot in wrestling. I was a really good football player. I was, but I just kind of got to the point where, one, I hated going to school, and it changed for me once I got into and started playing college football. So I just wanted to just start wrestling. So I started looking around everywhere for wrestling schools. And back then you really couldn't find a whole lot of them. And my dad actually helped me, but like looking in the back of like Muscle and Fitness and Muscular Development and Iron Man magazines, they'd have ads for like wrestling school, or, hey, do you want to get into this? And I just started calling around and trying to get a hold of anybody I could with any information about wrestling school. And, I said earlier that I'm lucky. Little did I know, I was actually really lucky. Every person that I talked to, if I would any wrestling school that I was seriously talking to, if I would have went to any of them, I would have been a capable wrestler and not been ripped off and been able to do a lot of things. So and lots of folks don't have that experience,
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, during our preparation for the show, we kind of did a little bit of research and some of your match history. We've seen you've been in the ring with, some of the greats, Jake Roberts, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, you've been in the ring with, the greats like those, Jerry Lawler, Dusty Rhodes, the list goes on. I was just going to ask you, at the plethora of guys you've wrestled, both in the, WWF and in the local promotions here in Missouri, Kansas, and Colorado, who would you say is your toughest opponent you've wrestled against?
Oh, toughest. I mean, I suppose, I guess that depends on how you mean tough. I would say probably the match that I learned the most from, I got an opportunity. I learned pretty fast. Got into the wrestling business. I went to Charlie Fulton's wrestling school, and I just absorbed everything, right? Anything that I could. So, I was wrestling 5 days a week. I had my first match, which was WWF television, after 4 months. I was really pushed it really hard, and I kind of thought I was pretty good, and I'd been working for a while, and I got an opportunity back with a guy that used to do a lot of military bases, and he would do a lot of these big, like, 2 or 3 week tours. And I was on this tour. I don't remember how I met him, but I was on this tour kind of being the opening match guy. And I felt really lucky because everybody else on the card was a name that you'd heard of. And one of the guys, I think it might have been Sam Houston, didn't show up for the tour, or he was having some personal problems or something like that. So I went from being the guy that worked twice a night to being a guy that worked 3 times a night. And somehow I got to be the main event on a couple matches with Greg the Hammer Valentine was my tag team partner, and we worked with the Freebirds, Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy. And I would say, I don't know, there was a tough match because they were all over 45 minutes long, and of those 45 minutes, Greg Valentine was in the match for about 2 of those minutes. So I would say, as far as learning on the job and being tough, and was working with like Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes. And I'll tell you what they say about Michael Hayes' left hand, those things are true. That was pretty rough. So, but it was kind of like I felt like I had on the job training. I'm a lucky guy. I think people realize that it's easier to work with me than against me. And I can make people look really good, and I want to work really hard. So a lot of folks, I get kind of the benefit of the doubt, and I get put in positions where, I can see if I can handle it or not. And luckily, most of the time, I've been able to handle it.
To kind of piggyback off of that, Derek, this is our 11th episode. And I think when we started, getting guests going, Josh, probably our second or third episode.
Yep.
And, I know Josh had reached out to you, and Derek, ever since, you and Josh had made that connection, it's funny because we have heard enormous amounts of great things about you from the people we've interviewed, and people we've met. And I guess my question for you is, what do you think that credits to? Obviously, in the wrestling business, humility is not not, especially, no offense, but especially to an older group of guys,
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, Derek, I mean, that speaks volumes, I think, to you and your character, and, to have so many people come out and go, oh yeah, Derek, say amazing things about you so far.
Well, I pay a lot of people off, so there's that. I honestly, I just treat people the way I want to be treated, and I have a lot of respect for the wrestling business, and I have a lot of respect for, like, if I'm going to tell somebody something that I saw in their match that maybe wasn't great, or maybe they could fix or whatever. First of all, I don't ever necessarily volunteer that. But if you ask me, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And I think people know, I'm not telling you anything just to get over on you. I'm not trying to make you look bad. I'm going to say, this is what I think, and this is why I think that. Again, like I said, I only speak on stuff that I really know about. So I'm only going to tell you what I think if it's really what I think. So I try to just be as genuine as I can. And, and I've just been a humble person. I sort of have this attitude of, that's kind of helped me succeed in life, really, is that, like, all these things that people say, well, this was a really great thing you did. I expect to do those things. So I don't ever think of them as, wow, I've done things that no other person in my family has done, or this or that, or I'm supposed to do those things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
My brother, before he died, he was an admiral in the Navy. Like, he is a guy, he's not all that impressed by me. You know what I mean? He's got some things that he's got his own stuff, right? So it was kind of come from that background where it's like you're doing the best that you can, and just be proud of that. And I do that for myself. So I don't really feel like I have the need to get over on anybody. I mean, maybe that's it,
Absolutely. We've heard a few people say, rising tides lifts all boats, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
That's definitely true. I think that's true. And ultimately it's just, I really like wrestling. I wouldn't be, I'm going to be 50 years old on Saturday, so I wouldn't still be doing it if I didn't really enjoy it. You know what I mean? So I want things to go well. Ultimately, it's just, I really like wrestling.
Sorry.
There I am. So yeah, I guess that's it. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, like I said, wanted to bring that up because we had just heard a lot of great things about it, Derek. So
well, thanks. And it's funny. I'm gonna sort of brag here. Like, people will come up to me and they'll say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that back in, whatever, 98, you helped me out with this, or you did this, or I don't know if you realize you were the second match I ever had, and you really took care of me. And, like, I don't necessarily, I just sort of treat people like that, but it's nice to hear those things. It's like, hey, if it wasn't for you, I would have never got a match in Kansas City, or I never would have, and so those things, those make me feel good, just because I try to be as genuine as I can. And people have given me lots of opportunities, and it's always up to me to sink or swim. So if I'm in a position where I can do that for anybody else, I'll say, yeah, if I can get you a shot, I'll get you a shot, and then you see what you do with it.
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go. So, you were a former NWA Central States champion.
Yeah, longest in history, I guess. That's what I hear. I don't know that that's true, but that's what I've heard that.
Yeah, you're definitely up there. I mean, you've had more, longer reigns than guys like Harley Race, Bulldog Bob Brown.
Hey, believe me, when Harley was alive, I let him know that all the time.
That's awesome.
Of course, he said he would always come back with, how many world championships do you have? Yeah, I don't have any, and I never will. So, yeah.
So tell us what that run was like for you to have that longest title reign.
It was actually really cool, and it's actually a cool story I hadn't thought about in a while. So, years back, the NWA was kind of dead. There wasn't really a lot. There were guys that were almost like franchises. You know what I mean? This guy ran the NWA Southwest. This guy ran NWA Central States. This guy ran the Northeast or whatever, trying to bring things back. And I had a good friend, a promoter, and a great guy, Ed Schumann, who has passed on now. He was kind of the guy that was in charge of the Central States area. And he said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing, and I want to bring back the Central States title. And of course, me being around Kansas City, I was like, yeah, I'm all for it, So he said, like, why don't we see if we can set up, some kind of a match where we bring that back, and then, like, if you wouldn't mind, like, any of the bookings that you take, you're going to be the Central States champion. So any of my other bookings that I had, I would say, hey, by the way, I also have this Central States title. And if you can book that on the show, and a lot of, people jumped all over it. So I did this like fatal 4-way matchup, and it was me and a guy named Grizz, Mr. Saturday Night, Michael Berry, if you guys know him, and a guy who I think is one of the absolute best to be in the ring, and he's still going. He's older than I am. The Night Train, Gary Jackson, out of St. Louis, who's fantastic. He's still great. And
yes.
So we had the match. I won that, and then I started kind of just taking that Central States title everywhere I could, and then from there I kind of got the responsibility of, like, Ed would say, can you find some tag teams around any of these shows? Are there guys that are worth being the Midwest tag team champions, or is there, so he was really trying to build the brand. And it sucks that he died sort of before this sort of new resurgence of the NWA kind of came through, because he was really a guy that really pushed. He was out of Chicago, really pushed to do things in the Midwest, And as far as carrying that title, I loved it, and I wish I would have had more pictures with it, but I'm big on wrestling history, so I always tried to take care of that and tried to represent it as much as I could. And I actually got an opportunity to wrestle one of my favorite matches for that, and I got to wrestle Dusty Rhodes in probably one of his last matches, and that was a blast. It was an absolute blast. And after the match, of course, him and Harley go way back, and I was a Harley guy then, and we just talked, and I did a promo, and I was talking to him about, that he'd never worn the Central States title and all the greats and I started naming off all these guys, and he said, you just about cracked me up, because you're bringing up names like Mr. Pogo and Sonny Myers and all these guys that I hadn't thought about in like 30 years. And he was like, this kid really knows his stuff, so it made me feel really good, plus the match, for Dusty being as physically limited as he was, still to this day, one of my favorite matches I've ever had. Again, just like working with the Freebirds, that was like masterclass. You know what I mean? Here I'm starting to think something isn't working right. It's not working right. And he's like, nah, hang on. Oh, and then boom. Oh, all of a sudden, here we are, and it's going crazy. And people think this 70-year-old man is getting ready to kill me, and it was fantastic. I really look very fondly with that match,
Absolutely. Sure. I did want to point out, we did have a chatter who wanted to wish you happy early birthday, Derek.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. let's talk a little bit about World League Wrestling.
Okay.
So you were the second WLW champion,
I
and
was.
you've held that title a total of 5 times.
Wow.
What?
I had no idea. That's awesome.
So, just tell us what that's like working in WLW in Troy, and working for Harley and now Leland. And
Yeah, well, let me tell you. So working for Harley was a great experience, and getting the opportunity to run his wrestling school when he first started was great for me. And the one thing that's great about Harley is I have been, again, talking about being fortunate. I trained with Charlie Fulton, who's fantastic, a great trainer, a great teacher. I spent a ton of time with Harley, just learning things from Harley. And then like Skandar Akbar, one of the best managers in the business. Like, so I have been so lucky and blessed to have people like that help me out. And like being around Harley, you learn how to be a main eventer. You know what I mean? You're not just a wrestler when you're around Harley. Harley Race was the main event everywhere he went. You know what I mean? So you learn from him there, and that attitude sort of rubs off on you on how you treat yourself, and how you treat, like, oh, I'm the man around here, and I'm not a cocky person, but it makes you hold your head up a little bit higher because you know what you're going through, and and all of that. So to represent Harley was great. It was a lot of hard work, and one thing that I'll say about Harley, and I always tell people about this, because Harley was a friendly guy and a real nice guy to a lot of people, and especially as he got older. The best thing that Harley ever did is I'm a friendly person and I get along well with people, but I will certainly tell you what's on my mind, and that doesn't, it rubs people the wrong way sometimes, but again, it's not ever done out of malice. And Harley fired me like 3 times, but I would still see him around. I was still doing WWF television. I was still doing dark matches for those guys, and he was always there. And never once, even though we had personal disagreements or whatever, he always treated me very, very well. When he was ever in a spot where he needed a certain person to work with, an out-of-town guy that maybe was a difficult person to work with for a student or something like that, he always called me. So it's how he treated me when we weren't getting along really told me a lot more about him than when things were good. It's when everybody's agreeing with you, it's easy to be real nice, but when you're like a problem, and he still treated me with respect, and never once did he, say, oh, you shouldn't use this guy, you shouldn't know. He always would have people call me that called him looking for me and all that. He always, so nothing but respect for him there. Working for him was great. I loved the attitude of kind of this grassroots. When we first started running shows, he was running 3 a week, and we were doing lots of stuff all throughout Missouri, Iowa, and those shows were really great. And the thing I like about Harley is that he had his way of doing things, and that's how they do them still. They still do them that way, So there are times when things would be a little easier, maybe if you did them a different way, but that's not the Harley Race way. So you don't do it. And Leland is the same way, And I'll say this, Leland Race is a guy who I have a lot of respect for. He is sort of grown up and kind of like realized what the business is all about, and realized how to treat talent, and realized how maybe when he was younger, he was a little bit of a hothead and didn't handle things the way he should. And now he does, he's learned from those things. And he still, as a guy who is definitely committed to the, what WLW means. So it's nice to be around somebody like that. And I think, honestly, that's probably one of the reasons that they like having me around, is I'm a little bit of a reminder. Guys like myself, guys like Steve Fender, John Webb, guys that have kind of been through there for a long time, and kind of keeping that legacy alive. And, WLW is doing great. We're on television in 12 different markets. We're doing well. There's just about every show in the past year and a half or so after they opened up has been a sellout at the Race Arena. So I mean, things are going well. People really respond, and the folks that maybe you haven't seen it, you haven't made your way to Troy, Missouri, you should go to the show in Kansas City and check it out, because it is, a lot of folks talk about being old school and having a certain attitude of how they do their shows. This is the real deal. I'm not knocking anybody else. I'm just saying this is what that is. So go see it,
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. So, we did a little bit, like I said, I made that video for you kind of promoting the show.
Yeah.
There was a lot of videos of you and your manager, Malice Mayhem.
Yeah.
So,
And Burrito, don't forget the dog.
Yeah, for sure.
That dog is bigger than both of us. That dog gets over way better than both of us. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So what, I just wanted to ask you what was your relationship with, your Malice, and how, your working relationship with her, and how you guys got paired up.
We just, we're really, really close, and I saw an opportunity, and I'll give her this, okay? So a lot of folks say, well, because we're close, her and I, that's how she got her position in WLW. Let me tell you, she went to every WLW show and helped out, and was there for over a year before she even got on any of those shows. So, the rumors of I just made a phone call or something and said, hey, you should put her on as my manager, that didn't happen. That never happened, And then the Burrito thing, she just got a dog who's adorable and said, I can't leave him home. Can we maybe bring him with us? And I'm like, yeah, of course, and it's worked out really well. And she's I like working with a manager. I've been lucky in that I've worked with a couple of fantastic managers, Skandar Akbar, like I mentioned earlier, one of the best ever, and she's great. And it allows me to free me up to do other things, so if I know that she's, talking to people and heckling folks and all of that, then it can free me up to think about other things. So I like it. And I think we really play well off of each other. And I think it's been an element that's helped not only in WLW, but other places that we've been, and there aren't a lot of female managers in wrestling in the Midwest that I've seen. Not a whole lot, so it's been fun. She's doing a great job.
Awesome.
So this Saturday night, WLW comes to Kansas City.
Your birthday.
You're going to be in the heavyweight match.
Yeah, my birthday.
Yeah, exactly. Your birthday. There you go. So you're going to be in the championship match against champion Moses, the Deliverer.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about Moses, and
how do you want me to answer this? You want me to tell you how I really feel, or do you want me to tell you what Derek Stone would say?
You do how you feel, Derek.
Well, all right.
If you want to shoot with us first, and then cut a promo, you go right ahead, man.
Sure. Well, he did steal that title from me, and he's sort of been, I'm the uncrowned champion. People know that. Obviously, they know that. But truthfully, I have got to say, I wrestled Moses maybe one of his first or second matches there in WLW. This, quite a while, 2 years ago, maybe, or so. And he has just gotten so much better. He works really hard. Everything that he has, he deserves that. He's worked to just continue to get better. He was a guy that even before I had worked with him, I'd see him wrestle a match, and the first thing he would do would come back and ask Leland, or then he'd come talk to Steve Fender, and then he'd come talk to me about, hey, did you happen to watch? What can I do better? How can I do this? Was this okay? And without being prompted to do that, he just really enjoys getting better and wanting to do better. And the success that he's been having is not a surprise to me. He's a guy that I think is going to do well. Let's get this straight. He's got a horrible body. He needs to work out. He just looks, skinny, fat, kind of dope, but his actual in-ring ability and his attitude are terrific. He's going to be somebody that you're going to be seeing for a long time. And I'm happy that he is not only doing the stuff that he's been doing, in WLW, but you've seen him on AEW. He's traveling all over. He was just in Canada. That stuff that's how you get better. You gotta widen your horizons a little bit and work hard. And that's exactly what he's doing. So, I could get on here and just spew off a bunch. So I'll save that for the show. He's a class kid, for sure.
Fantastic. So, as we kind of wind this down a little bit, what advice would you give to a young, aspiring professional wrestler just breaking into the business?
Oh yeah, quit and go back to school. That's what I would tell you. Yeah. No, I would say just work hard. The thing is, like, you got to get as much ring time as you can. And I was just at Rocky Mountain Pro, which I'm out here now. And these are other guys that I just love working for out here. Every time I've been home in Colorado, and I've been working for these guys, are having a big 12-year anniversary show tomorrow. So they've been running some great shows out here in Colorado for a long time. And anytime I'm in town, I pop by and I maybe get a match here or there, or I help train or something like that. And I was just trying to remind some of the students, and it's kind of the same thing. I had a lift. I've been lucky again. Like I said, I worked out with some great people, and one of my favorite lifting partners was a woman who won a silver medal in the Pan Am Games in weightlifting. You know what I mean? And she's fantastic. She's really one of the best I'd ever seen. And every day, she would use a PVC pipe and practice her lifts, right? Practice what she was doing for a good half an hour to make sure every one of those reps was perfect, not just good. Here's somebody who didn't, quote, need to do that. She was already an Olympic level athlete, right? But why? How did she get there? Well, she got that way because she did those things every day. I'm talking every single workout, right? So, not that you have to have that sort of level of dedication for a lot of things, but it's really just learn your foundation, get your foundation, and continue to work hard and just continue to do. There are days when I felt like quitting because I just couldn't get an elbow drop right or something. And I just had to just keep doing it. And I was lucky enough to be around people who were, weren't trying to get over on me. Just say, nope, that's not right. Do it again. No, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. And it just kept, it just kept me kind of on my toes. And then one day, just things were easy. You know what I mean? Like I just worked on my basics and just kept going and getting in the ring everywhere I can. And, didn't matter where it was. I took every match that I could, and I always learned from something, even if it wasn't, quote, a cool hip indie, and it was just a guy that I worked with, an old timer at a county fair somewhere. I learned something. I got better because I was in the ring. And you're only going to get better in the ring. You're not going to get better, sitting at home on your couch, right? So that's, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Absolutely.
That's what I would tell anybody. And I guess that's probably the same advice I would, give anybody. Of course, if you can sleep with the boss's daughter, that might help you too. I don't know. There's more than one way to skin a cat. That's not a dig at somebody who sleeps with the boss's daughter, by the way. That particular person also treated me very, very well. So that's absolutely not a dig. Okay.
Understandable, but I would agree with you. So it's funny you mentioned Rocky Mountain Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that, with today's technology, back when you very first got started, Derek, I couldn't send you a letter and be like, hey, Derek, you want to come on my radio show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So nowadays, it's crazy because, there's so much social media, so much technology involved with, so with Rocky Mountain Pro, Yaden, he streams on Twitch, which is something, I work from home. So I spend a lot of my time, frequent wrestlers Twitches and kind of hanging out in their communities. Sledge, who used to be ROH, he's good friends with Yaden. And Yaden is another guy that we've, Dak Draper, told me the other day that Yaden trained him.
Yeah.
And he's, like I said, he's another guy that we've heard great things about. So it's it's funny you bring up Rocky Mountain Pro.
It's a labor of love. I'll tell you, Matt is a guy that has worked really, really hard. And he doesn't get enough credit from a lot of people. He gets a lot of BS from people. And sometimes it's hard to carry 30 people on your back all the time. And him being the guy that's got to make it or break it, he's in a position I wouldn't ever want to be in, that's for sure. But yeah, it's been great. They've got the Wimmer Arena, which is named after one of their refs, a beloved guy who Jeremy, who just passed on. So he's really got a lot of really nice things going out here, and I enjoy working out here any chance I get, and I always have. I was on the very first Rocky Mountain Pro show, which back then it was called NRW. So, my history with those guys goes back a long way too.
Nice. Yeah. Denver, or not Denver, but I haven't spent a lot of time in Denver, but Colorado Springs is probably one of my favorite places to be.
It's really pretty down there for sure. Yeah, and they've got some great wrestling down there too, as well. So, Colorado's doing well. I'm happy to see everybody here, getting some work. And I always tell these folks here in Colorado, like, look, you've got some great people out here. You've got Primos, and you've got Rocky Mountain Pro, and you've got Colorado Springs Wrestling, and you've got Four Corners, and all these guys are about an hour away from where you live. If you live in the Denver metro area, I would have killed to only have to drive an hour when I first started, you know what I mean? To work for 4 different promotions, or whatever. So yeah, it's good. I'm happy to see them doing so well. All of them.
Absolutely. So Derek, the next question I would ask you is, do you have a spot on social media you'd like for us to share where anybody can reach you at, whether it's for booking reasons, for events, or
don't book me. No more bookings. I'm tired. I need to take a nap. Really, I've been real busy lately. So don't call me. Get a hold of my Facebook page. That's probably the thing I check the most, and so I would say I would go with there. You can also check my Instagram, but really my Instagram is just the leftover stuff from the Facebook page. So, I'm not as active on things as I should probably be, but.
Nice. Hey, that's how we got this book, is through Instagram. So
yeah, absolutely.
You're definitely checking it out for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. And we will definitely be, I know I will be. I don't want to speak for Josh. We're very good friends off camera. And Josh has a very busy life right now. He started a family a little later, so he's got 3 kids under the age of 3 right now.
Wow.
And all my kids my youngest is 10. So
Jeez,
all my kids, yes. So I'm able to escape the den a little bit more than Josh is right now. So
sure.
I don't want to speak for Josh, but I will definitely be making it out to WLW in Kansas City.
Well, that's awesome. So. Yeah, I think you're really going to enjoy it. Every time, we don't. These days they don't tour a whole lot, so he kind of saves it up for a couple of shows that he does, like the house show thing. And I think you're going to have some real good surprises there, and you're going to enjoy the show. And if you haven't seen a WLW show, you're going to see some young guys. I think everybody that's on their roster right now that's a younger guy, they're all guys that are going to stick around. You're going to be hearing big things from them. There's guys like Raheem De La Suede, who I love. He's a great guy. Yep. Moses, like I talked too much. I've said too many nice things about Moses, so I'm not going to say any more. But guys like that I had a big hand in training, Kenny Alfonso, who I love. He's a great young guy.
Absolutely.
Luke Anthony is going to be fantastic. Yep. Luke Anthony is already really fun to watch, and he's had like 3 matches. He's really good. And Leland Race, of course, always consistent. Steve Fender. Guys that, just to say on record, Steve Fender is the best wrestler to come around the Midwest in the last 20 years. I still think he still is fantastic, and a guy that guys can learn from. And so if you ever get a chance to go see him, whether it's at WLW or New Breed or any of the stuff around the Midwest, you should go see him for sure.
Absolutely. I was going to say we are definitely huge Kenny Alfonso fans.
Me too.
Here on the I-70. So
I'm a big fan of him, and of course I don't know if he's on this show, but my favorite new young guy is Camaro Jackson. Fantastic talent.
Absolutely.
I love both of those guys. They did they started with me in the NWL, and one time they used to always talk to me about being black, that I was the blackest man in the office. I don't know what that means, but it was. And they did a parody about that, and they filmed a thing where I got my 23andMe results, and I was 94% African American and like 6% something else, and it was always really, really fun. So I've always had a really special place for both of those guys. You know, they always make me laugh. So and they're both guys that are really, really talented. I'm happy to see them both doing so well. You know,
absolutely. That's awesome. I love that. So
sure.
that got me. That made me pop really big.
So Derek, the last thing we got for you, we ask every guest to do this.
okay.
If you can turn it on, get into Derek Stone character, and we'd ask you just to say, this is Derek Stone, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
WLW World Heavyweight Champion Derek Stone, and you are watching the I-70 Hot Tag, and I don't know what the hell that means, but these guys are going to be around for a long time.
Love
Is
it.
that right?
Absolutely. That was awesome.
Hey man, appreciate you joining us, Derek. I really do. We had a blast. Thanks for taking the time out to sit down
absolutely.
And
I'm so sorry about all the technical trouble in the beginning of the show. I have no idea what the hell is going on. But thank you very much.
Absolutely, Derek. Anytime, like I said, technology is fantastic when it works. I like to think I know my way around technology, and I still spoof shit up every once in a while. So
there you go. Well, I don't feel so bad. Thanks.
Absolutely, Derek. Appreciate you, sir. We've got a Kyle McGuire in here who definitely agreed that WLW has some good talent. He said classic Stone for you. And then we have a young lady named Jess Gray who's watching us on Twitch. She was talking about Rocky Mountain Pro and all the other wrestlers who stream on Twitch as well. So definitely had a lot of fun tonight, Derek, and definitely plan on having you on again in the future. So
you guys are doing a great job, man. Everybody wants to be on your show, so just keep it up, okay?
I appreciate it, Derek. Thank you.
Sure. All right, take care, guys.
All right, see you, buddy.
Adios. Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So as usual, that was Derek Stone, WLW wrestler, Midwest wrestling legend. We had a fantastic time chit-chatting with him. If you guys missed the interview, tough shit. You'll I'm just kidding. You can catch it. You'll catch it on the replay. But guys, as usual, right after we're done doing the interviews, we usually go to break for about 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm reading a cue card here that my friend Josh has provided for me that says 3 to 5 minutes. Josh can go to hell. It's 5 minutes, whether Josh likes it or not. I need time to take a shit and get a drink. So screw your 3-minute break. So we're going to take 5. And when we come back, we are going to break down CSW Rise of an Outlaw, an event I went to. And then we're also going to break down St. Louis Anarchy Dingo Invitational. So when we get done with that, when we get back, we're going to start that. So guys, just bear with us. Stay with us for 5 minutes. Okay. Bear with us for 5 minutes while we stare at the camera. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back after a quick break. As you can tell, I'm out of breath.
Run to the bathroom, huh?
All right. So, we didn't have a video to play for you guys this week. We're kind of working out some difficulties on these videos. Every time I turn around, we're getting slapped with a copyright thing, even though we're getting the music from a royalty free, copyright free website. Of course. So we're going to take a couple of minutes here just to talk to you about not really some sponsorships, but if you guys are in the Kansas City area, we've got a few businesses we want to promote. Obviously we're huge on promoting independent professional wrestling. So I'm also huge on promoting small businesses as well. So one of the things, you might have seen it last
I've
week.
actually, yeah. Are you sharing your screen? Oh,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna read this as it is. This is what should have played over last week's, slideshow for You Want a Pizza Me. Kansas City has a new name in the pizza game. You Want a Pizza Me is a Kansas City's only pro wrestling themed pizza food truck. It is located across from the Black Box Theater in the West Bottoms. It's dedicated to serving delicious flame grilled pizzas named in homage to pro wrestling. They've got the High Flyer, El Luchador, Greener Than Grass, and their newest bestseller, The Undertaker. Regular and vegan options are available. They're also dedicated to getting you to eat your healthy vegetables with their selections of salads. Look for the big man in the luchador masks. You can follow them at You Wanna Pizza Me KC on all social media platforms. Kansas City's a top pro wrestling city, and You Want a Pizza Me is your spot for knockout top of the card pizza. Come get some.
Absolutely. So if you guys can see that, it's You Want a Pizza Me KC is the at, or if you want to just look for You Want a Pizza Me ? It is a food truck. I would love to attest to the delicious food. I have not had the opportunity to get out and try it, but I am super, super excited to. I am off on Saturday. You best believe on my way back to Peculiar, Missouri, where I live, I will be stopping by the You Want a Pizza Me truck and grabbing some lunch or dinner, depending on how late I leave this place.
Absolutely. Just to throw this out there, Connor's the owner there in that picture. He graduated from Ray Peck with us. Not with us, but graduated from Ray Peck a couple years later.
Really?
Yep. He's got ties to both of us.
Nice. I like that. Yep. I like that a lot. Okay. That's badass, dude. I didn't know that. Yep. That is really badass. So speaking of Peculiar, where I live, the next business we want to plug, local business, is the Peculiar Winery, which is literally right down the street from my house. They are a local winery. Ran one of the owners, Chris Goff, actually used to help run Metro Pro Wrestling. And the winery is extremely popular. They do fantastic business. They are always busy, and they always have food trucks out there. Yeah. So we know 2 food trucks. I would love to hit up the winery one night when You Want a Pizza Me is there.
Absolutely.
So I
win-win.
Yep. I'm over here. I'm over here booking it already. So, so yeah, the Peculiar Winery. Like I said, they're on the outer road, in Peculiar, Missouri. If you are in the Kansas City, Missouri area, I definitely highly recommend checking out the It's a fantastic vibe. It's like a it's a barn-dominium building. Why didn't my screen not change? I went to the website. What is going on here? You little Pinocchio.
They also have a new summer wine called the Peculiar Rita. So make sure you guys give that a try if you are in the Peculiar Raymore area.
Oh, there it is. That's what happened.
There it is.
Yep. Well, I opened up the website, but yeah, like I said, it's a really awesome building, guys. Very gives you a lot. God, I can't think of the name. Magnolia Lane, I think Magnolia Lane with Chip and Joanna. It's a barn-dominium on the inside. It's got a great look. If you have not been, I highly recommend. Like I said, if you're in the Kansas City area and it's a little bit of a drive for you, it is definitely worth the drive. When I lived in Blue Springs, we made the drive there a couple of times. Now I'm right street. I try not to embarrass myself. For those that don't know, Chase likes to get a little bit. Chase overserves himself sometimes, and I don't want to be the guy that, especially Chris Goff, winds up kicking out
Right.
because he's passed out on his toilet.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Wouldn't be good.
No.
Yeah,
It would not.
Go hit them up, guys, and like I said, go say hi to Chris and tell him the I-70 Hot Tag podcast sent you to the winery.
Absolutely.
Again, not an official sponsor. Neither one of these are an official sponsor. We're just we're just out here promoting local businesses.
Absolutely. If you want to look at a sponsorship, the I-70 Hot Tag has an email address. We also you also can message us on social media. But those two businesses that we promoted, we are not affiliated with in any way, shape, or form. I did also want to take a small opportunity to promote another local business. For those that don't know, I do a Kansas City Chiefs. I do a Kansas City Chiefs podcast on Tuesday nights. My partner, who I do it with, is starting a car detailing business. It's called Love of My Car. Very new. He just started this week. So if you guys are in the Kansas City, Missouri area, and you guys are interested in getting your car detailed, hit up my friend James Howe on Facebook. He will get you taken care of. And that does it for our good deed for the day.
Yeah.
Our good deed for the day. Yeah.
We've done our one. We're done for the day.
Yep. Got a lot of local businesses that we just put over. So
Yeah.
speaking of putting over, so here we are with CSW Rise of an Outlaw. And this I've mentioned on a few occasions that I do not want to make it seem like I favor CSW in any way, shape, or form. But CSW put on another fantastic event, another great event. I will say that at this event, it was dark times, I would say. A lot of the bad guys won. So to kind of break this down, we started off the event with the CSW Championship match between Jeremy Wyatt and Mike Outlaw, the rematch from last month. For those that don't remember, the match last month at Strapped ended in a time limit draw. So they scheduled this match to be no time limit. And that's why they started off the event. They wanted to start off the event and let it go as long as it could until there was a winner. And Mike Outlaw pulled out all the stops in this match, guys. He even performed a pile driver himself on Jeremy Wyatt, but it wasn't enough. And Jeremy Wyatt scored the pinfall victory. After the match, however, Jeremy Wyatt grabbed the microphone, ran his mouth about how, everybody thought Mike Outlaw would win, and he retained the championship again. And Jeremy Wyatt said that he was in such a good mood that he would be willing to defend his championship one more time tonight. And he left it open for an open challenge. Music hit, and there was a gentleman who came through the crowd wearing an AEW hoodie. And when he got in the ring, he turned Wyatt around and he took the hood off, and it was Ace Steel, the former Second City Saint himself. And Jeremy Wyatt thought he was going to play the Foundation card. For those that don't know, Ace used to be in a stable called the Foundation, with Michael Strider and Jeremy Wyatt. And so Wyatt tried to play that card, and Ace told him, nope, I want that championship, and challenged him, and we were off to the races. So the next match is kind of weird, because there's these two young guys in CSW who were in the Kansas City metro area, Campbell Myers and SK Bishop. They go by the Premier. And it's weird because they were introduced as the world's most dangerous tag team. And that's weird because that sounds awfully familiar to another tag team that runs rampant in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why they thought that name was
okay,
was cool. Was cool for them to use, but the Premier came out to a lot of boos, as they should. Nash and McGregor were the two guys they faced. They were two big Irish dudes, and they were huge. It was very fun to watch them wrestle. If they'd have had some face paint on, they'd have reminded me of the War Raiders, or the Viking Raiders. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah. They were very fun to watch. There was a gentleman a couple rows next to me who was very, very, very much into the P-Boys chant. So with the huge help of my 10-year-old son, we got a P-Boys chant started, and the crowd loved it. So and the two guys, Nash and McGregor, loved it too. They didn't have a clue what was going on. They have no idea the backstory. If you're not on Twitter, if you don't follow the Premier on Twitter, you have no idea what the P-Boys is. But obviously the guy that helped us get the chant started did, and my son loved it. If you've ever taken a 10-year-old kid to a wrestling event, it is quite the experience. So I was the guy that evening with the annoying kid that wouldn't shut up, and I loved every minute of it. So in fact, Dallas Cade was sitting at the table as the timekeeper and the bell ringer. And I think Dallas was about this close to just walking, because Dimitri was probably 4 feet away from him, maybe 5.
The
whole night, and Dimitri didn't stop at all. He kept going and going and going, and I loved it, man. It was awesome.
That's fantastic.
So, I can't imagine the Premier as baby faces anymore. They've done such a good job playing up the heels. They're also doing a fantastic job of playing up their feud with the Howlets right now. They made multiple digs at the Howlets. In fact, they finished the match with the Howlets finisher. So they are definitely playing it up.
CSW does a great, we talked to Strider a few weeks ago. They do a great job at that storytelling we asked him what his method was to booking matches and a show in general, and he does a great job of the 3-show arc is kind of what he was alluding to in some of those, and we've seen a lot of this, and really this is going to be a 4-show arc really. Eventually,
more than that.
Yeah,
because we saw the street fight.
Yeah,
and the street fight was another chapter to that.
You're right. It is gonna be more than 4. Yeah.
The street fight that we saw, was the turn, because the Premier were the baby faces and the Howlets were the heels. Now you couldn't tell that when the match started that night, because when the Howlets music hit,
that was a double turn night.
It was definitely a double turn night. But yeah, they're doing a fantastic job playing up this heel. Campbell Myers is coming into his own. I know SK Bishop has been around for a little bit. I don't know how long Campbell Myers has been around. I don't think Campbell's been in it as long as SK has.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Campbell is definitely coming into his own. I would like to reach out to the Premier and invite them to come on to the show before they get their asses beat by the Howlets.
Absolutely. While they're still able.
Yep, while they're still able. That's right. Then the next match, we had the Mile High Magnum, Dak Draper versus the Ice Pick Vic Capri. So this is a weird situation for those that don't know. Dak was supposed to face Vic Capri last month. And Vic wasn't able to make the event. And then Dak was actually supposed to face Davey Richards this month. But I think Impact came calling to Davey Richards, which is why Davey Richards wasn't able to make CSW. If you guys watched Slammiversary this weekend. And so Vic Capri was Dak's opponent this weekend. Now, before the match, the assistant territory manager, which is kind of like CSW's versions of the general manager, Gil Rogers came out, and to hell with Gil Rogers. Not happy with it one bit. But Gil Rogers is instead of, never mind. I'm not going to go there. We're not going to go there tonight. I was going to say, instead of being worried about, being an assistant manager to the territory and worrying about the talent, the Premier and the Howlets, and suspending Hoodie Howlet for something stupid. Gil's more worried about finding out who attacked him. Whatever. Cool. Anyways, Gil came out, confronted Vic, asked Vic where he was, kind of hinting that, maybe Jeremy Wyatt and Vic Capri kind of had a doing in this. Dak came out, and Dak cut a really good promo with the crowd. Got the crowd hyped on Vic Capri, and he talked about how small Vic Capri is, which Vic Capri is pretty short. He is stacked and chiseled, but he is all of maybe 5'9", maybe 5'10". And Dak got a chant going called 5'3" Vic Capri. And dude, Dimitri would not shut up. I mean, it was like I said, I loved it. I didn't, but I mean, like, there was a couple of times where, I mean, because it was just constant. I was like, he's gonna get tired. He'll get tired. No, dude never got tired.
The whole match.
He stood the whole night. The whole night. Yeah, especially as soon as, because Dimitri just immediately fell in love with Dak. And then as soon as Dak got the chant started, as soon as Dak got the chant started, Dimitri did it, and he never stopped. I mean, it was the whole match. Like, people, like, the crowd was with him at first, and then when the crowd died down, Dimitri was still sitting there going, 5'3", Vic Capri. And I was like, he's gonna stop. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, he'll stop eventually, dude. He never stopped. Never. He just kept going until the final bell. I was like, oh my god, dude. The finish to the match was amazing, though. This was probably the best match of the night. And that's not taking away from any of the other guys. The other guys all had good matches. Ace and Jeremy Wyatt was a damn good match. But this was definitely probably the match of the night for me. Vic went to go do a I forgot the move, but Spike Dudley used to do it, and Brian Kendrick used to do it. Sliced bread.
Yep.
Vic Capri went to go do the sliced bread. Dak reversed it, and then performed his finisher and got the 1-2-3 on him. Like I said, great match. The next match, Moonshine Mantell, and Anaya Howlett.
Just so everybody realizes, so Chase and his son attended this event. I did not. And CSW produces their show in 4K on YouTube, usually 4 weeks after. So I have not seen this event. I can't really talk to it. So that's why, that's why you're hearing Chase describe what's going on to the
absolutely
to what's going on. We have a viewer, Jen Elliott.
Jen Elliott. That's weird. Any relation? Is there any relation to a Josh Elliott?
No, it's weird. This is just another Elliott. Crazy. Thanks for joining, Jen. But yeah, so that's why you're not hearing me input my my 2 cents, because I wasn't there. I didn't see it.
Plus you're monotone and boring. Yeah. But anyways, so. Speaking of monotone and boring, Greg Jovi came out, and he's yelling at the crowd, and as soon as I got the opportunity, I hit him with a "Shut up, Jovi," and dude, there was like 2 old people that used to go to the NWL events. And they came up to me immediately, and they're like, "Oh, you used to go to NWL?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "You remember that?" And I was like, "Yeah." So it was a very hard hitting match. But of course, when the referee was distracted, the Premier came out and whacked Anaya with a Singapore cane, and Moonshine hit a nasty clothesline from hell, and picked up the victory. Jen says, "I have a serious question."
Ask away.
In the hot tag that is you two, which one is which? Who's getting beaten to shreds, and who gets last minute tagged in, hypothetically? So that's not how we imagine the show, Jen. How we imagine the show is that we are getting beaten to shreds, and we go to tag in our guest for the hot tag. That's how we envision. But to your question, if hypothetically that was happening, it's obviously Josh is getting his ass kicked, and Josh is reaching to the hot tag for me. Yeah, I'm the one getting the hot tag.
Well, we'll see about that when you got Moonshine Mantell chopping you in the chest. We'll see who's reaching for who.
I love how we've automatically assumed that Moonshine's going to do this. I imagine that when Moonshine, when I ask Moonshine about this, Moonshine's going to go, "There's not a chance in hell I'm chopping you, fat boy."
Definitely not. But hey,
he'll hit me.
He'll
hit me, Hey, you know what he'll do? He'll big time me. He'll go I'll chop you, but it's $100 a chop.
Have we been big time before, Chase?
We have been big time before.
Yeah.
We have. Every single guest we have had on the I-70 hot tag has gladly came on and not mentioned a thing about any type of compensation. We're asking for 40 minutes, 45 minutes of your spare time to come on here and
to promote
yourself
and Kansas and Missouri wrestling.
Yep, and that is correct. And you can clip this, you can record it. I'll gladly put it on Facebook and put it on Twitter and put it on TikTok for all of the wrestling community in Kansas and Missouri to know that if you ask for payment,
we will not see you on the I-70 hot tag, is what you're saying.
That's right. The next match, and I hope I'm saying this right, is Jason Strife, who was cut. I mean, this dude was a monster.
Yeah.
Against the big strong boy. Dude was in phenomenal shape. They had a great match. The next match on the card was the Beer City Bruiser.
Yeah.
Who reminded me of like if Festus and Stitch had a baby. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
Jennifer does though. She got a picture, at least half of it. She's picturing it.
Let's cut. I shouldn't have fucking said that. Wow. Anyways, so the Beer City Bruiser against Niles Plunquet. The Beer City Bruiser had the whole crowd chanting beer.
Including one specific person in the crowd, right?
Yeah, including my 10-year-old son. Yes. Yes. So
that's great.
It was. It really, really was. So here I have a bunch of videos and pictures I will eventually get loaded up to social media. I have not had the opportunity to because I'm constantly dealing with this stuff, but here we go. Let's share the screen.
Share it.
You think you think we'll you don't think I'll get hit with any?
Yeah, you will.
You don't think I'll get hit with any copyright for this one?
I don't know. Depends on what you're gonna play here.
So there's my 10-year-old son who's a hop, skip, and a jump away from picking his own nose.
Been there, done that.
Oh, we're having internet troubles here. I've got that Josh internet now.
Yeah.
that James internet.
Yeah, you got James internet now.
Here, we'll see if
iPhone hotspot internet is what you're running off of. Is this video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Yeah. To hell with it. To hell with it.
Hell with it, man.
It ain't working. But yeah, every single time we landed a that was him getting worked up every single time they every single time Beer City Brews landed a punch, the crowd was going beer. And then eventually it got to the point where it was just Dimitri going beer, beer, beer. And I was like, I took a video of it and sent it to Ashley, and Ashley was like, oh, awesome. But like I said, the crowd was super into it. But Niles Planquet was too much for the Beer City Bruiser. So he was able to pull it out. And then in the main event, we had Jeremy Wyatt against Ace Steel for the CSW Championship. Wyatt had a fantastic match, but Wyatt, the referee went down, and Vic Capri came out, and then they got a beat down on Ace Steel, and the entire crowd was chanting Dak when it happened, and Dak came out for the save, which for those from the from those that watch the NWL, that was a little weird watching Dak to come out and save Ace Steel from Jeremy Wyatt.
Right.
We weren't used to that. So
Nope.
Very like I said, a very cool way to end the event. Very good show as always. I'm extremely excited to find out what happens at the next CSW event.
We will announce that later on in the show for sure.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to ask you, so did you get a chance? Who all was at the merchandise table? Did you get to talk to anybody that was selling merch?
Absolutely. Got a chance to talk to Campbell Myers. Got a soup shirt.
Nice.
And then as soon as we left that area with the soup shirt, we went over to Anaya and Froz, and Froz was like, "Yo, you don't want that shirt," and he's like, "You want one of these shirts," and this was during intermission, so Anaya hadn't wrestled yet. So by the time Dimitri got the shirt on, Dimitri was part of the tribe. 1,000%. So much to the point that Froz got Dimitri to throw the shirt back at Campbell Myers. And then I had to get the shirt, because I was like, yo, I just paid $20 for this fucking shirt,
Right.
or 25. I don't remember which. I was like, I'm not. Yeah, because Froz was like, you don't want that, and Anaya kept doing it too. They were hyping him up. They're like, yo, you don't want that. You don't want to wear that. And then Froz was like, Froz or Anaya, I can't remember which one, but they were like, the only thing this is good for is toilet paper in the house. And they were like, you know what you do with this? And then he's like, you do this, and then you throw it. And then Dimitri tossed it, and then I was like, oh my God, dude. And Campbell took it, Campbell was having fun with it until Campbell made a comment about there not being two Howlett brothers, and then it got a little chippy, but we walked away, and then it was really cool. There was a guy in front of us who was a big NWL fan. He has kids there. I think he might have had 4 or 5 kids with him.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were all his or not, but whatever. He was actually wearing an NWL shirt, and Dak was doing push-ups with all those kids, and it was awesome because nobody asked Dak to do that. Dak was just talking to the kids, and then said one thing or another, and then next thing you know, he's on the ground doing push-ups with these 5 kids, and then he talked to Dimitri, and he asked Demetrius if he liked wrestling, and Dimitri was like, yeah. He's like, but I don't have friends. He's like, none of my friends like wrestling. And then Dak was like, he's like, that's not a big deal. He's like, you know what? When I was in high school, nobody liked wrestling either. I was the only one who was watching WWE. And then he's like, you know what, Dimitri, be you. And gave Dimitri this big speech, man. So, and that's why Dak and the Howlets are now Dimitri's favorites. Because, and then we got a signed picture with Dak, and then Dak wrote a little message to him about being himself, and doing what he wants to do and all that cool stuff. So
That's awesome.
it was definitely awesome for him. So
For sure.
like I said, I've got a bunch of pictures and a bunch of videos I got to go through and post up on there. We'll eventually get to that. So we'll make some videos and keep an eye on the social media because we'll post it there. So
nice.
The next event was the St. Louis Anarchy Dingo Invitational.
Yeah, man. It happened, unfortunately, the night prior and the night of. Yeah, the night 2 happened the same night as your CSW. So you did catch up on it, but you didn't get to see it live. You were in attendance for CSW. I did watch it from start to finish live, so it was nice to see the culmination of everything from night 1 into night 2. So we unfortunately this night started off with a couple announcements. First, there was a couple of flight cancellations where the we had the card and the bracket that we were breaking down that predicting Masha Slamovich was one that was unable to make the event. She was supposed to have a pretty high profile match round 1. Biff Busick was supposed to wrestle Jeremy Wyatt. And I think there was a third. I didn't have this written down, but there was 3 flight cancellations. And Matt Jackson, I want to tell you, worked his magic. If you guys don't know who Matt Jackson is, he runs, books, owns, I guess, St. Louis Anarchy, and did a hell of a job the day of when all these flight cancellations. I mean, when 3 of your main wrestlers can't
he's a
make
tag
the
team
show.
champion and he's a tag team champion in AEW, isn't he?
Yeah, not that Matt Jackson.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But yes, Matt. He did a hell of a job.
Matt does a fantastic fucking job down there at St. Louis Anarchy.
100%.
And real quick, like, I was gonna wait till after we got done with it, but if you guys have not seen the documentary about Gary J, that is on St. Louis Anarchy's YouTube page, I 1,000% recommend watching it. It is Professional Wrestling Saved My Life, and it is about Gary J, and who is the Robo Ginger in St. Louis Anarchy. Yep. And I cannot say enough good things about it. It's very candid. It's very behind the scenes. It lets you know, the ups and the downs that these guys go through. That just like say what you want about real or mainstream professional wrestling compared to independents. But the independent wrestling scene, this is, like I said, it's a very candid look into what it's like. So like I said, it's very well done. Definitely check it out. So.
Yep, for sure. No, I 100% agree. I watched it a day later and couldn't say any more great things about it. It was definitely a great watch. So if you guys are pro wrestling fans, definitely go check it out. It's on the St. Louis Anarchy YouTube page. You can watch it there as Chase is playing with his shadow with, what is that, police lights?
It's not a police light. It's a.
I don't know how you sit there with that thing flashing in your face the whole time.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
I guess.
I'm gonna make a TikTok later because it reminds me of Triple H's old entrance.
Yep. I like it. So
might make a TikTok later on it.
Make a TikTok. I like it. So, we talked about the flight cancellation. So Matt Jackson's scrambling. He does his best. He has to change some matches night 1. Basically, the whole tournament, whether or not the winner of this tournament's the same or not, I'm assuming it probably would be, but round one definitely had a scramble. So he did a hell of a job there. I do want to point out before we kind of kick this thing off was night one, at least the first night, and you and I kind of chatted back and forth. The first half of night one had one of our guests on commentary. He was Greg Jovi was on commentary for half of night one, and absolutely loved listening to his take on professional wrestling, his take on the matches, and just the way he announced things was fantastic. In my opinion, I really enjoyed him being on the call with the headset on and announcing those matches. I don't know what did you think about Greg being on the mic?
I loved it. It was he's definitely got the voice for it. He was very obviously Greg is very knowledgeable about the business.
Yep.
So that always helps out. The other thing was I loved the little nod. Obviously next month him and Christian Rose are gonna for whatever crazy ass reason, Greg is gonna step in the ring with Christian Rose. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him, but he did a good job for the most part. I think Christian pointed at him during the event, and then we got Greg Jovi. The one we're used to. He came on and started talking about Christian Rose then, but no, Greg did a fantastic job. So
yeah,
and Carly, is that her name?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I wrote it down. And I didn't write it on the rundown. The female announcer for Journey or for Anarchy.
Yep.
Yeah,
and she does Journey Pro too, doesn't she?
She hasn't in a while. There's been two guys doing Journey for the last couple of events, but she has filled in there and done a great job there. She does great. Her and I think it's Sean Orleans, if I'm getting that correct, is the main Anarchy announcers. They did a hell of a job, and they always do. They always paint a good picture. They always get super into it. They make you feel it. So, and I really appreciate Journey Pro and St. Louis Anarchy and anybody who does those live streams for those who can't make it, because as much as I want to go to every one of these events we cover, we physically can't. And when we can't, when life gets in the way, we can sit at home, take care of what we got to take care at home, and actually watch the events and be able to cover this stuff. So hats off to Journey, hats off to St. Louis Anarchy. And I wanted to give a shout out to Walter Fulbright from he helps run Journey, but he also is a big part in St. Louis Anarchy. He was on the chat for Journey to Anarchy and the Twitch stream the entire 2-night event, and he kept the crowd and the chatters and the live stream audience engaged. He kind of helped elevate some of the matches. So shout out to Walter. We did see him at AEW. He was at the pre-show party. So he does a great job with that. So couple things. We had a lot of matches to go over, man. This Anarchy had like let's say like 12 matches night one and like 12 to 14 matches the night two. So I mean, these matches were getting just going on. So I mean, we obviously
we dumbed it down. We dumbed it down.
We did. We dumbed it down to some of the highlights, and I kind of wrote these down. Kind of go over some of them. And I wanted to highlight, if you guys don't follow the I-70 hot tag on social medias, go do that. Because I posted some pictures, a video.
If you don't follow the I-70 hot tag on social media, what the hell are you doing with your life? if you don't follow the I-70 hot tag on social media.
Chase knows.
Must
I
be-
guess if you're watching this this live stream, not the podcast, but you're watching the live stream, you probably follow us somewhere, either there or CR Media 1988 on Twitch.
Absolutely.
Anywhere, yeah. But I did put this video because Adrian Surge. This was actually night 2, and again, I'm going to bounce around a little bit just because we're not going to talk about every match. Adrian Surge took on Gary J, Stiff Robo Gender. And there was at one point in the match that Gary J slapped the living shit out of Adrian Surge on his back. And I didn't even see, I had to rewind it because I didn't even see when it happened, but I saw the aftermath.
Yeah.
And on his back, there was a welt, a handprint welt that looked like you just took a 500-degree iron of a handprint and put it on this guy's back and just set it there for a couple seconds and then lifted it up. That's what it looked like. It looked like the handprint was burned into his skin. That's how prominent this handprint was. And it was wild. I mean, I can't like the announcers couldn't get enough of it. They were talking about putting it as their background of their phone for the next week. I think it's worthy for another next month, not just next week. But crazy. Did you? I mean, you saw the video. You went back and watched it, didn't you?
Absolutely. And well, I'll be damned. I thought you shared it on social media, my guy.
I did. It's on. It should be on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. Not on Twitch. I'm sorry.
It's not on the. It's not on the Twitter. It's not on the Twitter.
All right. It might be on Instagram. And
unless you shared it through the real Josh Elliott. Not the
no. Are we gonna? Let me pull it up here. I'm pulling it up on Instagram.
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to be proactive and pull it up.
You're good. I should have done that before.
Yeah, you should have, but it's okay.
I should have. Here you go. So here's the. I'll share the screen here. My bad. Share screen. Screen 2. I'm assuming is this. There we go. Can you guys see it?
Nope.
All right. Am I sharing the wrong screen?
No, you were sharing the right one. I was just messing with you.
Okay. So, there's the.
Oh, my God, dude.
There's the handprint weld. And then push play, go to the next one. Yeah, that's the one right there. I mean, that is wild.
Yeah.
I'm sure Adrian, I'm sure he felt that.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. But yeah, it was wild, man. But Gary J did end up beating Adrian Surge in that match, so he advanced. He advanced on a couple matches before we kind of get into who made the finals of this tournament. Billy Starks. I wanted to give a shout out to her. She wrestled Evan Jelestico in the first round. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, but in my mind, I was like, well, Evan's going to win just because he had a big match the month prior to get into this tournament. So I just figured they were going to have Evan advance and kind of, progress his story, but they didn't. They gave Billy the win. She looked really good against Evan. They actually, they teamed up. They were a team before they, faced off in Anarchy, and they were a hell of a mixed tag team together. So for her to kind of break off of them and actually get the win, and that match was actually really great, honestly. And for her only being, I think they said she's only 17 years old. So she has a bright future ahead of her. Billy Starks does. So, and they said she's 17, but she's wrestled 200 matches already, which is crazy to me. So
yes, yeah, Billy is on a an absolute tear, which is very exciting for them. So,
Yep. So keep an eye out for her. She's going places. She is going places. And again, last match is that I want to talk about before we get to the finals or the final three is Gary J and Jeremy Wyatt. Due to the flight cancellations, Gary J, the fans in attendance and the Twitch stream got greeted with a Gary J versus Jeremy Wyatt match in round 1. So
absolutely.
hell of a match. It
Which
wasn't
is, I was going to say, which is fantastic anytime. They're, one of the matches that they highlight in that documentary with Gary J is when he won the Gateway Heritage Championship away from Jeremy Wyatt. So anytime those two step in the ring, it's amazing. So
yeah, man, and it's cool because Gary J actually now has Wyatt's number because that's the second in a row that Gary has won. There for what 4 years straight. Jeremy Wyatt just ran amok in Kansas or in Kansas City and St. Louis, and Gary J beat Wyatt finally for the Gateway Heritage, and then now he's beaten him once or twice since then, and this being the most recent. So, good on Gary, man. And we saw what Jeremy did on night 2 up in CSW. So, fantastic job by Gary J. It's nice to see him get some dubs and carry that Gateway Heritage title. We're going to see he's going to be put to the test. We'll talk about it later during the Circus Maximus event that's happening next month, but we'll talk about that at the end of the show. So,
absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna go down the final 3 for the St. Louis Anarchy. So I wanted to highlight each wrestler's path to the finals. So we'll start off with Thomas Shire. So Thomas Shire was one of the 3 finalists in the finals. He actually wrestled in round 1 a surprise because of a flight cancellation, and that ended up being a man that Derek Stone mentioned in his interview. Raheem De La Suede made his St. Louis Anarchy debut. So I popped big time for him just because I'd seen him we saw him in WLW, we saw him in Glory Pro, and now we're seeing him in St. Louis Anarchy. I really hope we see him in the Kansas City. I know we're going to see him here, on Saturday, WLW, but hopefully we see him in Journey and or CSW soon as well, because as Derek Stone said, he's got a bright future ahead of him. But he, unfortunately, Thomas Shire ended up taking him out.
Whoa!
What happened?
Oh, what just happened?
What happened?
I don't have any alerts, guys. I'm sorry. Oh my God, dude.
What happened?
Dad trainer with the party of 8 with the raid, man. Hell yes. Let's go. Yeah. Hell yes. Appreciate you guys coming through, Dad Trainer. Hell yes, dude. We got a new follow, man. A follow of Lorenzo the Ultimate. Appreciate the follow. Street Mania. Appreciate the follow. Hell yes. Awesome, Dad Trainer, man. Appreciate you coming through. Man, we are wrapping this thing up. Well, we interviewed independent wrestler Derek Stone, who wrestles out of WLW here in Troy, Missouri. Not here in Troy, Missouri, but in Troy, Missouri. And Heel Kevin, man, appreciate you following, brother. We interviewed Derek Stone, talked to him about WLW, which is Harley Race's wrestling promotion that his son Leland Race now runs. Derek Stone was talking to us about his experiences, and then we broke down Central States Wrestling's event from this past weekend. We are also breaking down St. Louis Anarchy's event that came through. Spartan Jesus 92. Appreciate the follow, guys. I'm going to get to all of you here. I've got my list. My goodness, dude. Dude, like, so guys, I apologize. I don't have any alerts yet. I'm still getting the Twitch. Up and running. So I don't have any alerts, but as soon as I saw something come through and I was like, oh my gosh. So Dad Trainer, appreciate the raid, dude. Hell yeah, man. Dad Trainer, Heel Kevin. That's the Heel Kevin army, man. I love those guys. Hell yes. Definitely appreciate you guys coming through tonight.
When we broke CR
Yeah.
Media.
Yeah, you did. I was definitely appreciate it, guys. Hell yeah. Let me make sure I got everybody here. So, we got Lorenzo the Ultimate, Street Mania, Heel Kevin, Spartan Jesus. Yeah, definitely coming through with the Heel Kevin army love, man. And then, all right, so that's all right, cool. I got everybody. Whew, man.
Fantastic. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, man, that popped me a little bit. So,
A little bit.
fuck, boys. I'm gonna have to get those alerts fixed up. You know what I'm saying? So next time I could be a little bit prepared.
Right.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, is this right now? I was like, oh, this is right now.
Yeah.
My bad, man. Brother, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
you're good, man. That day, that was a perfect time to cut me off for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, I was just kind of talking about Thomas Shire. He defeats Raheem De La Suede to move on after the first round. He ends up taking on Warhorse and knocks out Warhorse. So that was a little bit
huge shock.
Yeah, huge shock. But not even the biggest shock for Thomas Shire, because he goes on into the semifinals to wrestle Gary J. And he beats the Gateway Heritage champion to advance to the finals. So yes. Thomas Shire, it was on an absolute roll, beating Suede, Warhorse, Gary J, and is in the finals. And I was completely, yes, he beat Warhorse. That was a shock. But when he pinned Gary J, my jaw dropped. And I'm like, holy shit, I cannot believe Thomas Shire just pinned the champion.
So, for as shocked as you were about Thomas Shire, I was about ACH. Now I know ACH is, he's had a great career in the Midwest. He's come out of St. Louis. For anybody that doesn't know ACH, ACH did a little bit of time at NXT. You guys can look that up. I'm not going to talk about it because ACH is a fantastic wrestler. And his stint in NXT shouldn't be how his career is highlighted. But definitely go check out ACH. He defeated Aaron Williams on night one. And then Kenny Alfonso. He beat Kenny Alfonso, which Kenny Alfonso has been, as far as Journey Pro and St. Louis Anarchy goes, Kenny Alfonso has been doing great stuff there. So I was super shocked to see ACH come up with that win. And, he played his injury up really well. Dude, when the injury very first happened, I thought it was legit. I was like, oh, fuck, he's really injured.
I did too, the whole night. Yeah, he played it up the entire night.
And let me take 2 steps back. He might actually be really injured. Like I said, he if he's not, he played it great. If he is, still played it great. So he, like I said, he defeated Kenny Alfonso, and then he defeated Davey Vega, and Davey Vega Grindhouse has been really high up there. So this, like I said, Matt Jackson, who runs St. Louis Anarchy, did a fantastic job with this event. It had a lot of shocks. They took a lot of young talent and elevated them, which was great. Derek Neal, who we've come used to seeing in CSW in Kansas City. He was on this event too. He defeated Anakin Murphy night one. Defeated Camaro Jackson in one of the hardest hitting matches I've seen in a while. Those two dudes beat the dog shit out of each other, and it was a fantastic match. Like I said, even with Camaro Jackson losing, he still looked strong.
Yeah.
Because that match was so hard hitting. And then he defeated Matt Fitchett, which was the other member of Grindhouse. So both members of Grindhouse took losses that night, and it was super shocking. So in the finals, man, you want to break down the finals for us?
Yeah, man, this was a hell of a hell of a final. We had Derek Neal versus ACH versus Thomas Shire for the Dingo Trophy, the Dingo Invitational. So in the end, hell of a match. All three guys were exhausted from wrestling 2 or 3 matches that night, and then one the night before. Derek Neal, though, he remains undefeated, and he picked up the win, beats both ACH and Thomas Shire. Neal hits the Dingo driver on Shire for the pin. So Derek Neal's a champion, or Derek Neal's the Dingo Invitational trophy holder now. Yeah, after the match, it was pretty cool. Dingo came out. He had the trophy. He had the plaque ready to give to Neal. And as soon as he hands them to him, Neal does what heels do, the heel shit, and he attacks Dingo. And just as he's about ready, what looks like he's going to give Dingo the Dingo driver, Gary J comes in at the last second, saves him, knocks Neal out of the ring, which sets up the match for Circus Maximus, which is the main event for Circus Maximus next month. We're going to get Gary J versus Derek Neal for the Gateway Heritage Championship. So hell of a match, hell of a card. I'll tell you, that was a hell of a tournament that they put on, even with everything Matt Jackson had to do to put that together and get that to flow smoothly. They could have, if I didn't see the bracket before and knew who was going to go into the, who was supposed to be there, I never even would have known there was a problem. It was that well put together, even with the last minute substitution. So hats off to them. Yeah. Hats off to Matt Jackson. Anarchy, fantastic job, and congratulations to Derek Neal.
Absolutely. Again, like I said at the beginning when we started breaking down St. Louis Anarchy, and I want to reiterate again while the raid is going on, for Wrestle Talk community, wrestling TikTok, and Heel Kevin Army showing up with the raid. You guys know who McGruber is. McGruber did a fantastic, and I like Zach. But I won't brag on Zach very often. But I will take this to the bank. It is a fantastic documentary he did on Gary J, who is a St. Louis Anarchy wrestler. He is a St. Louis stapled wrestler. McGruber did it. It is definitely worth the watch. It's maybe 40 minutes to an hour. But it's like I said, it's very candid. It's very raw. It talks about the ups and downs of being an independent professional wrestler. It's amazing. Zach did a fantastic job on this documentary. If you guys have not seen it, I highly recommend go to St. Louis Anarchy's YouTube channel. They have it there. It's worth the watch. This is the part of the show, guys, where we're kind of starting to wrap up. We're going to talk about future independent wrestling shows in the Kansas and Missouri area. Now, Josh and I have tried to touch every single one that we can. We are on episode 11. If there is Kansas or Missouri independent wrestling promotions that you guys know about that we have not touched on, please hit up the I-70 hot tag on social medias. It's right there next to Josh's name. Josh runs the I-70 hot tag account. Hit him up. with the Missouri, like I said, any Missouri, Kansas independent professional wrestling promotions, and let him know. And we will get those on our list. We'll get them covered. We'll reach out to them. The whole point of this show is to put over independent professional wrestling, especially here in the Kansas and Missouri area. This is what I love, man. So, future indie shows on June 25th, WLW. Our guest Derek Stone will be headlining. He's going to be facing the WLW heavyweight champion. Derek said there is a dispute. He says he never lost that championship. We're going to crown an undisputed champion. It's going to be Derek Stone facing their champion.
Moses the Deliverer.
And what I was thinking of is Derek is going for his sixth WLW championship. They're also going to have Kenny Alfonso versus Raheem De La Suede. And both of those guys are St. Louis Anarchy guys, young guys in the Kansas City area, Missouri area, and they do a fantastic job. Also on June 25th, in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, it is going to be CCW Cape Championship Wrestling. It's going to be their show, the Super Show. They're going to have Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux there. They're going to be in action. That's going to be super exciting. Wish I could make it out to that, but I think I'm pretty committed to WLW right now. So would love to see Killer Cross, but I'm sure I can see Killer Cross another time. I won't be making it out to Troy to watch a whole lot of WLW events because Troy's like a whole 4 hours away, isn't it?
It's almost to St. Louis.
Yep, exactly. So speaking of St. Louis, July 24th, Glory Pro presents St. Louis Vice. Ethan Page is going to be wrestling Warhorse there. We're also going to get Mike Bennett versus the Quad Father Camaro Jackson, which I am super excited about. I am a huge Mike Bennett fan. Back when he was running indies before, I was super excited when he joined WWE, man. I was very brokenhearted that WWE didn't do anything with him.
Yeah, he didn't do much.
Yep. And then, boy, this was quite the announcement, man. CSW had to do a special announcement on their YouTube for this. So, as you know, the raid came in. I'll kind of just back up a little bit, guys. We talked about CSW, which is a local promotion here in Kansas City, and they had an event, Ace Steel against the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt for the CSW Championship. Jeremy Wyatt was able to retain the championship, obviously with an asterisk. He had some help from Chicago native Vic Capri and 5'3" Vic Capri. And Vic, after the show, Ace Steel cut a promo and told everybody that he was going to go out and get some help, and the help he's bringing is Arn Anderson and Brock Anderson. So once again, for the first time in 20-something years, probably longer than that, Kansas City is going to turn into Horseman country. Super excited to see that. Like I said, a little odd seeing Ace Steel with the Horsemen, but I'm not gonna complain.
Right.
That event is gonna be on August 27th. Jeremy Wyatt and Vic Capri versus Ace Steel and Brock Anderson with Arn Anderson at ringside. That's gonna be huge. Cannot wait for that. Yeah. Tickets go on sale Friday. If you guys are in the area, gosh, I would even go so far to say that if it would be worth a drive if you are a little bit further out.
Yeah. Cross state.
Would. Yeah. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, they put on hell of a shows every time we've been, and if you guys can get out there. The only bad thing, I mean, it's not even a bad thing, is it's 2 months away. So they're not going to have. It looks like they're not going to have a July show. So they're taking July
Yep.
off. So yeah, it's but worth the wait. We're going to get We're going to get Arn Anderson and Brock there too. So
absolutely. So and I know we kind of talked about it while we were waiting on Derek Anderson to get his technical difficulties figured out. But next week, guys, same time. I appreciate Heel Kevin Army showing up, but for those that don't know, this show starts at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Next week, we are going to have a very special guest. If you guys are not familiar with independent professional wrestler Luigi Primo, definitely look him up. His gimmick is fantastic. He is an Italian pizza chef. His matches are some of the most entertaining stuff you will see. It's very exciting. Definitely recommend tuning in. Luigi's going to be a fun guest. So we're going to sit down with Luigi and talk to Luigi and yes, Heel Kevin Army shows up and shows out. I appreciate it. So there is Luigi. Like I said, he's going to be sitting down with us next week. We're going to chat with him. So definitely tune in next week. We will be here and it's going to be tons of fun. Other than that, we've got a bunch of other guests lined up, guys. Like I said, every Thursday night we go live. I also go live on Wednesday nights after Dynamite for the Dynamite post show. If you guys don't know, Pro Wrestling Kingpin on TikTok, him and I come live on this Twitch channel about 15 minutes after Dynamite, about 20 minutes after Dynamite, because there's a 5-minute counter. And we kind of just sit down and chit chat about Dynamite, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. We also invite guests on. After we're done breaking down the show, we kind of like to invite guests on, let them do 1 to 2 minutes of what they liked and what they didn't like. Yo, Freak, appreciate the follow, man. Thank you again. Another member of Heel Kevin Army showing up for me. I appreciate that, guys. Like I said, 15 minutes after Dynamite, we kind of go live, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. We let you, the viewers, come on after the show or after we're done breaking down the show to chit chat with us as well. So that's fun. And then if you guys are NFL fans, sporadically on Tuesdays, I say sporadically because I'm the co-host. I can't really decide when we have a show and when we don't. My good friend and I, James, he does James House Chiefs Talk. We talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, and we talk a little bit of the NFL overall, depending on what big stories are. It's the off season, so there's not a whole lot to talk about right now, guys. But that is my schedule. So like I said, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights. Appreciate you guys again. I will break down the social medias. As you guys can see, the social media tag right there, CR Media 1988. If you are not following me on TikTok, I would greatly appreciate a follow. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers so we can go live on there. I'm like halfway there.
Are you? Nice.
I'm like I'm like 450 something. So we're building steam. I'm making content. We're gonna be clipping these shows and posting a lot of those on there. And then a lot of other content we're putting on there. So definitely would appreciate a follow on there. I am also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, posting on social media all the time, guys. So we greatly appreciate a follow there as well. My friend Josh. It's because you made me. It's because you won't let me mirror my camera, you jerk. My friend Josh here, he runs the I-70 Hot Tag social media, which is a huge help to me. Little by little, you're damn right, Dad Trainer. You're damn right. Little by little. So my friend Josh does a huge service to us. He runs the I-70 Hot Tag social medias all by himself with no help from me, and it is like I said, a huge help. So definitely go check out the I-70 Hot Tag on social media. Josh, you're on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube,
Instagram.
Yep.
And Facebook. Yep.
all the major ones.
Yep.
Yes, Dad Trainer, I will definitely have that clip on there, brother, and I will have that on social media by tomorrow, sir. I can guarantee you that. So, guys, like I said, much love to the Heel Kevin Army. Obviously, we're building this Twitch thing up. So and this was something I planned on starting. I actually plan on starting it next week, but since we were rated tonight, I guess we're going to start tonight. So tonight, guys, we are going to end the show with a raid. Give and give. So bear with me 1 second here because I've never rated before, so I got to figure out how the fuck to do this. Gonna try and stop by more often, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night, fellas. Absolutely, Spartan Jesus. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate the follow, sir. Yep. First time, yeah, freak. It's super easy. Yeah, I see it on my quick actions here. Okay, we're gonna. All right, guys. So, because the theme of the show is it's /raid, then the username. Oh, okay. All right. Awesome. So I appreciate that, freak. Thank you so much. Kind of, like I said, kind of getting used to this and, kind of doing my own moderation here. So, but guys, the theme of the show is independent wrestling. Everybody here is, I know that the Heel Kevin Army is huge wrestling fans, independent wrestling fans as well. So that's huge for me. That's like I said, I diehard independent wrestling fan. So that's the theme of the show is Kansas and Missouri independent wrestling. Across the I-70, a little bit further up in Colorado, is a promotion called Rocky Mountain Pro. So tonight we will be rating Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. Just stick with us and show Yaden some love, man. He's busting his ass out there. So definitely show Rocky Mountain Pro and Yaden some love. And bear with me 1 second here, and we are. We are getting there. We go. All right, guys. We will be rating them momentarily. Again, appreciate everybody that came through. Heel Kevin Army. Let them know. Heel Kevin Army sent you to me, and that you came from CR Media. Again, guys, to all the followers, to everybody that did the raid, it was fantastic, guys. Like I said, Dad Trainer, appreciate you, dude. You will definitely get that reaction clipped, and you will definitely be seeing it on social media. Guys, as usual, we in this night. My name is Chase. I go by CR Media 1988 on social media. This is my partner in the hot tag, Josh Elliott. And as usual for the I-70 hot tag, good fight and good night.
What the fuck is happening? Chase.